role players. And as it flashed on the screen just now, this meeting is being live streamed. Obviously, we have the genius of digital transformations out here. Our founder, Toastmaster Syed Faisal Zaidi, and when he is there, definitely everything will get live streamed. Everything digital will happen if the guy is around. Right. So actually, we need to be careful.
Except my camera today.
All right. So in this club, we try and keep things a little entrepreneurial. And in that scheme of things, we have divided the month into 4 weeks, in which in each week we have got a different activity. And in that scheme of things, today's activity is the speech marathon. Thanks to Sunil having to skip out, unfortunately, the marathon has got shortened into a 10-kilometer cross-country race. But nevertheless, we have 3 speakers today, and I'm sure we'll have some good table topics also if time permits. Now, today we have a very distinguished TMOD, distinguished Toastmaster Abhijit Roy. He's a business development manager by profession. He has a corporate experience of more than 12 years in the oil and gas industry. He's been a Toastmaster for 3+ years. He's an ardent photographer and traveler. He's a member of 3 clubs. He served excom roles of VPM, VPE and President, Triple Crown 2019, 2020 and 2020, 2021. Division Table Topics Contest First Runner-Up 2020. Evaluation Contest First Runner-Up at Area Level 2019, Club Level 2020. Humorous Speech Contest Second Runner-Up at Club Level 2020. Wow! And he's here today as the TMOD. Please put your hands together and welcome distinguished Toastmaster Abhijit Roy.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster. I would rather say not just a presiding officer, but a great leader, of course. Why? Because as very few members that I have seen, I've come across within the Toastmasters fraternity coming from a very different background. And when I got your introduction, you did also mention I'm a retired army officer. I mean, trust me, more than anything else, it makes me feel so very proud to be in such a kind of a platform wherein we have people like you with so much of empathy, so much of excitement. Even after retiring from defense, one is still having that urge to learn. And that's what it takes, a lot of courage for all of us to also be here. So thank you so much, NVezion Toastmasters, as well as the entire team, to really give me this opportunity to be a part of, to give me an opportunity to be part of your meeting today. And since there's something which I got missed out, I probably will take that lead in order to request the guests at least to introduce themselves. If there are any guests in the meeting, I'm not really sure who are the exact guests who are joining the meeting for the very first time. And if there are any, I would request...
We have Tanveer, we have Harry.
Okay. So Tanveer, can you please give a very brief intro about yourself in probably about 30 seconds, not more. And then let us know where you're dialing in from and how did you come across knowing about NVezion Toastmasters? Tanveer, can you share your thoughts quickly? Okay, I assume Tanvi is facing some technical glitches. He has kept his audio on mute. He's trying to speak, but maybe, I mean, am I audible? That's what the main question is. Okay, then I'm not sure whether Tanveer is able to hear me or not, but we'll certainly get back to you, Tanveer, in a short span of time while we take the introduction of other guests who have joined in. Harry, can you please unmute yourself and share a brief about yourself and how did you come across knowing about this meeting today? Okay, we also don't see any response from Harry on the other
We
side.
have Akhil Janumpally.
Okay. Where is Akhil? Akhil. Okay, Akhil, can you please?
Hello. Hello. This is Akhil Jaina. I'm Akhil. I'm from Hyderabad. I'm from Leicester Leaders Club, Toastmasters Club, which is in United Kingdom. I'm pursuing my masters. I have seen your your club meeting poster in the Indian Toastmasters group, and your title for the today's TMOD. It was interesting. That's the reason I just wanted to. This is my first time I'm attending your club meeting. I've been attending many other club meetings all over the world, all over in different countries, and even in our India. This is my first time that I'm attending your club meeting. I hope I'll be meeting different unique personalities. Just now I got to know about the retired major or retired army person. It's really interesting to know about the. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Akhil, for that introduction of yours, and as well as making us feel a little great that you are part of a club in London, in UK, but dialing in from Hyderabad, and of course, gracing your presence in this meeting today. So thank you so much, and I would certainly wish you to participate in the meeting today in different forms, especially around the table topics when it is hosted. Now I'd like to call upon, is Tanveer, are you set? Can you hear me? Can you introduce yourself quickly? Okay. I think Tanveer is facing some real challenges. We'll get back to you, Tanveer and Harry. Mohammed Shafat is one who has joined in. Mohammed, can you please unmute yourself and introduce yourself to the audience?
Yes, my name is Mohammed Shafat Rizvi. I belong in Azamgarh, UP. I am a student. I pursue my B.Ed in Lucknow University. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mohammed, for dialing in. And we all hope that you love today's meeting and do participate and try to ensure that you are able to overcome your fear of impromptu or even public speaking, for example. Now we do have anyone else joining in? I don't think so. We all are now Toastmasters who are part of today's meeting. So welcome all in all to the meeting, lovely meeting and beautiful evening of NVezion Toastmasters Club. The theme that I chose today, that is art of communication, is the language of leadership. Now, let us all first understand the essence of this title. I intentionally did not reach out to anyone to ask for their take on the theme. A lot of times, it is a responsibility that becomes for the Toastmaster of the day to reach out to every speaker or every role player to share a bit about the theme. But that is something when they share it on the WhatsApp group. And when they share it on the WhatsApp group, it becomes my responsibility to just read it out. But that is not the theme all about. The true art of communication is the language of leadership, which means how well you communicate is the true reflection of what kind of leadership you demonstrate, or how much of those leadership qualities that you can showcase. So how well you be able to communicate is the way of open interaction with a wide audience that you have. To ask one or two members with a virtual raise of hand, or if all those who have probably switched on their videos can also participate. What exactly is the meaning of the theme? Can anybody answer to that question? Anyone, whatever be the response. What exactly it means? If you have not read through, please go to the poster, the flyer, a beautiful flyer, and I'm really crazy and fond of NVezion Toastmasters flyers that are being prepared. Probably that is one of the reasons that I chose to become the Toastmaster of the day, to be on those one of those flyers. But yes, Toastmaster Smita, you can take in the turn to share your thoughts.
So I think what today's topic, the art of communication is the language of leadership, actually means is that leadership is not just about communicating your ideas, but it's also about taking people along with you. And when it comes to taking people along with you, you cannot be a dictator. Then there has to be an exchange of ideas, or the communication has to be a two-way process where you understand the needs of the people around you. The people are able to understand you. So you're able to convey yourself. A leader cannot force himself. A leader has to be accepted. Communication is that way for the leader to get accepted. So I think this is what you are trying to convey today.
Very rightfully said, Toastmaster Smita. It is not just about what you communicate. That is not important, but how you communicate. That how really tends to make the difference in everybody's lives. A leader truly does not mean that you command on other people to follow you. The way you pass on the message, the way you talk to people should be able to make that impact on their hearts and the minds of the people, and they start believing that whatever you say is right and to the best of the interest of those people. It's only then they will start following you. It's only then they will start considering you as an idol or as an influencer. So when you communicate, ensure that the way you speak, your body language, your each and every message, the way it is reaching out to the audience is framed and structured in a way which symbolizes that you are showing a path, you're showing a way to different people around you. You're trying to make sure that you are influencing not the minds, but the way in which people should behave and react to what you share. And that is extremely important in today's scenario. In today's world, wherein it's all about speaking. This is a virtual setup, and we have got so much engrossed into such kind of having online meetings. The personal touch, where when people meet physically one-to-one, that's a different way of communicating. But in online platforms, the communication is what I say. But if somebody does not really like the way I speak, if somebody really does not like the way I speak, the only thing that they can do is turn off their videos, shut their audios off. And how will I be able to really perceive whether my message is really going on to them correctly or not? I will just share my screen. The reason is I will try to share 2 slides, of which will categorically show some of the leaders, but the first slide will be shown first before the first we move into the first segment. And that is to show 3 leaders, 3 great leaders that you will see right on the screen. And I'm pretty sure that each one of you are aware of the 3 leaders that you see on the screen. To start with, on the left, we have Abraham Lincoln. And I've given a very small brief. Who is Abraham Lincoln? He was one of the greatest presidents that United States of America had. And that was also in a very tough time. Being a black, he was not accepted. And hence, this is the message that I have. A man who was defeated 8 times in an election went on to become the greatest president of the United States of America. And how did that happen? Through the way of communication. Now, question might arise, getting defeated 8 times, didn't he communicate? Well, he certainly did. But he kept on passing the same message, the same vision that he had for the other people, for the country at large, for his countrymen. He kept on, he had that determination. And with that kind of communication that he passed on, his leadership was proven. And that's how he proved himself that the through way of powerful oration or communication, one can actually be an effective leader. Second example, this gentleman, or for all those who love to watch cricket, will certainly go on to consider Sachin Tendulkar as the god of cricket. And indeed, he is. Today, people may not like him as an individual or may like him, love him, whatever be the emotions for this personality, that is their take. But today, he has become the god of cricket because he has all the records under his name. Everything that you call for, he has it. He was a ball boy in the year 1987 when the Cricket World Cup was being played. And ball boy means when you hit a boundary or a six, there are different people standing outside of the boundary to catch hold of the ball and then pass it on to the fielder who are onto the field. But then through the way of communicating, his communication was not verbal. Let me tell you, this player passed on a communication through the way of his bat, his access to the different tactics to make and build records. So when we talk about communication, it's not always the communication through way we speak. It's a lot of times what we demonstrate is also the way we kind of communicate. He proved himself to be a great cricketer, and his communication was through the way of his records that he made through the way of his bat. And fourth was different versions, different styles of communication that he passed on. Mother Teresa was actually not an Indian, but she spent almost 85 to 90% of her entire life staying in India, serving the orphans, serving mankind at large. She spoke a lot, she used to talk a lot, no, through the way of her noble deeds, through the way of the help, the care that she did for a lot of orphans, a lot of old age people. That was also a form of communication. And when you have this art of communication, your leadership is proven. Everybody will consider you to be a great person by default. You don't really have to go ahead again and again to prove someone that you are a good orator or you are a good communicator, right? So these three personalities were the ones whom I talked about. At this time, there are a few more whom I will be talking about, but then that is not I am all here meant for. I will have to proceed with the meeting, and a meeting is divided into three halves. As a typical Toastmaster meeting calls for, we have first segment as a prepared speech segment, the second segment as the table topics, and the third and the final one as a general evaluation. Before I go, the first role player, team members of the meeting, we have our general evaluator in the form of Toastmaster Marutesh, who would be introducing his role as the general evaluator that he's playing today. Alongside, he's also going to introduce the team that is going to support him execute his role successfully for the entire meeting. Toastmaster Marutesh, the virtual stage is yours to introduce yourself your role, as well as the team that is going to be supporting you in the execution.
Thank you, TMOD, Abhijit Roy, fellow members, and my dear guests. For the benefit of our members and guests, I am a general evaluator today, and I conduct the evaluation portion of our meeting. And to help me in this evaluation, we have a tag team, that is timer, accounter, and grammarian. First, I would like to call the timer to please share your role. Timer Syed Faisal, over to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. General Evaluator. Hello, everyone. As we all know, the time is very critical for all of us. We have to see in this 90 minutes or 2 hours how good we are using our time today. For that purpose, I am here to monitor and observe the timing of this meeting. I will indicate the time of the speakers whenever they reach up to their stipulated time frame. For example, the prepared speeches, they have 5 to 7 minutes. On 5 minutes, I will show them green card, something like this. At 6, I will show them yellow. At 7, I will show them red. So 5, green, 6, yellow, 7, red. We have icebreaker speech today. Guest Shafat Rizvi is going to deliver his icebreaker today. For his speech, we have 4 to 6 minutes. At 4, I will show green. At 5, I will show yellow card. At 6, I will show red card. For the evaluators of the speakers, we have 2 to 3 minutes. At 2, I will show green. 2.5, I will show yellow. 3 minutes, I will show red cue. For table topics, we have 1 to 2 minutes. At 1, I will show green. At 1:30, I will show yellow. And on 2 minutes, I will show red card. And there is a 30 seconds of buffer time allocated for each speakers to conclude their remarks. I will submit my report at the end of this meeting once called upon by the General Evaluator. Thank you so much. Over to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, TM Syed Faisal. Next, I would like to call the accountant TM Nivamshi. Please explain your role. Over to you.
Hello, everyone. My role as AHA counter is to count all the AHAs, all the filler words that a person normally uses in his or her speech, which degrades the quality and confuses the audience. Hence, I'll be noting them down and presenting at the end of the session when I'll be called by general evaluators to present my report. Thank you.
Thank you, TM Nivamshi. Again, I would like to call the TM Nivamshi to explain the grammarian report.
My role as grammarian is to notice all the good use of English, not so good of use of English, how many times a person has used, the speaker has used, word of the day and idiom of the day. And at the end of the session, when I'll be called by general evaluator, I have to present my report to acquaint all the speakers that they shouldn't be using not so good use of English often, and good use of English. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, TM Nishani. Now I will return control back to the TMOD and I will give my report at the end of the meeting. Over to you, TMOD Abhijit Roy. Over to you.
Oh, sorry, general evaluator. Sorry. One glitch. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I would like to share my screen and show the slide. The idiom of the day and the word of the day. I just forgot to present it. I'm very, very sorry. The word of the day is carnival, meaning public event or celebration, typically held outdoors and involving stalls, entertainment, and processions. Usage is children from Rotten are getting ready for the village carnival. And idiom of the day is 2 bites of the cherry. Definition is to have 2 bites at the cherry, to have another opportunity to achieve something or to get something you want. The judge said, the usage is, the judge said he was giving him another chance, a second bite of the cherry. I request all the speakers, table topic speakers and speakers, prepared speech speakers to use the word of the day and idiom of the day quite often in their speeches. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, TM Shamshi, for remembering and finally giving that word of the day. And now I will return control back to the TMOD to take meeting forward. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Marutesh, for introducing yourself and the tag team that's going to support you today for executing the role of a general evaluator. And thanks to all the tag team members who have taken the leap ahead in terms of being an effective communicator and also to prove to be a great leader, which gets tagged to the theme of today's meeting. Moving on to the first segment of the meeting, we have the prepared speech segment, which ideally means that every member who's going to be speaking or delivering a speech today is a Toastmaster. And they have defined project objectives as per the educational curriculum in pathways that they have taken. According to that, they're going to deliver their speeches today. So as our first speaker, we had four speakers as part of the agenda, but unfortunately one speaker could not make it to the final time. So we have 3 speakers today, and in order to call on the first speaker, we have the first speaker for today's meeting as, just give me 1 second. Yes, Shafat Rizvi is our first speaker. So Shafat, Mohammed Shafat, can you switch on your video? Okay, so we'll do a quick audio video check of yours before I would like to call the evaluator to read out the objectives and introduce you with the speech title. Can you repeat after me? I'm all set to deliver my speech.
What?
Toastmaster Shafat, can you repeat after me? I am all set to deliver my speech. This is and just an audio video check.
Yes, everything is correct.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now over to Toastmaster Saeed for reading out the guidelines of Toastmaster Shafat's speech and also calling on the speech title. Toastmaster Saeed, over to you.
Sorry, it's
yes, I will take it. Yes. Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day, for calling me. So, as we know, the speaker for the day, that is Shafat Rizvi, is going to deliver his icebreaker speech. He is someone who hails from Faizabad. Today is his icebreaker speech, and we are all interested to know why he wants to join Toastmasters and what is the motivation behind joining Toastmasters Club and improving his communication skills. The purpose of his speech is to introduce himself, as we all know. Timer, please note that because this is an icebreaker speech, the timing for the speech will be 4 to 6 minutes with a buffer time of 30 seconds. So ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together in welcoming Shafat Rizvi. I have a goal in my life, Shafat Rizvi. I have a goal in my life, Shafat Rizvi.
Good evening to everyone. Teaching is a very noble profession that shapes the character, caliber, and future of an individual. If the people remember me as a good teacher, that will be the biggest honor for me. Once said by our former president, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, having the similar dreams in my eyes. Hello, I am Mohammad Shafat Rizvi. I am a B.Ed student in Maharana Pratap Government College, affiliated to Lucknow University. I love reading books, playing cricket, and watching movies. I am a passionate learner. Thus, I decided to pursue my dreams of becoming a professor so that I can teach and learn in my whole life. Alternatively, I would prefer to become an SSC officer to serve my great nation. I was born in a family of a great ethics and principle, which had taught me to serve the society in whatever capacity I could. I love helping needy people in various modes. It would it be educational or economical. Have you ever thought what are those reasons that stopping you from living a happy life? My dear friends, those are only your overwhelming thoughts which made you drawn in unnecessary thoughts all day long and night, resulting in irritation, stress, depression, and imbalanced life. We all want to live happy, but don't know how. Let me share how I handle this situation according to John Trinity. Trinity says that take a deep breath and see what is the 3 steps that enable you make to your dreams comes true in your life. Firstly, understand the power of gratitude. If you are grateful for everything that you may have in your life, whatever you don't have. Secondly, be optimistic and positive. Being optimistic and positive attitude keep you motivated for taking the step and not afraid of failing. Last but not least, thirdly, never be stop trying. Take failure as a lesson and success as a motivation. Remember, there is a silver lining after a dark circle, after a dark sky. Whenever I get down and need motivation, this stanza of Sri Sohan Trivedi is inspiring me and giving me energy to stand firmly on my feet, to try continuously. लहरों से डरकर नौका पार नहीं होती, कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती. नन्ही चींटी जब दाना लेकर चलती है, चढ़ती है दीवारों पर 100 बार फिसलती है. मन का विश्वास रगों में साहस भरता है, चढ़कर गिरना गिरकर चढ़ना ना अखरता है. आखिर उसकी मेहनत बेकार नहीं होती, कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती. डुबकियां सिंध में गोताखोर लगाता है, जा जाकर खाली हाथ लौट कर आता है. मिलते नहीं सहज ही मोती, गहरे पानी में मुट्ठी उसकी खाली हर बार नहीं होती. कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती. असफलता एक चुनौती है, इसे स्वीकार करो. क्या कमी रह गई देखो और सुधार करो. जब तक न सफल हो नींद चैन को त्यागो तुम, संघर्ष का मैदान छोड़कर मत भागो तुम. कुछ किए बिना ही जय जयकार नहीं होती, कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती. थैंक यू सो मच फॉर लिसनिंग मी.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mohammad Shafat, for that wonderful ice-breaking speech. Now, let us take an opportunity to congratulate. We, of course, cannot stand, but as part of our responsibility towards appreciating and congratulating Toastmaster Mohammad on his first ice-breaking speech, let's all applaud with at least keeping our videos on and giving a virtual round of applause for Toastmaster Mohammad Shafat. Great speech done. And great inspiration from your side, Toastmaster Shafat, for having everyone on board with what exactly you have shared with us is truly an inspiration for many. Thank you so much. Next, we have our second speaker. And our second speaker, I mean, in terms of the order, it's the second speaker, but we'll have the third speaker on the virtual dais. And our third speaker is Toastmaster PK Ray. To introduce Toastmaster PK Ray's speech, we have the evaluator for the same in the form of Toastmaster Smita, who would be introducing the speech objectives and thereafter the speech title. Toastmaster Smita, virtual dais is yours to please introduce Toastmaster PK Ray's speech objectives and then the speech title. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Abhijit. Well, the cat is already out of the bag. I was writing how to introduce my speaker, but you already know who my speaker is. Nonetheless, let me also tell you that I have the proud privilege of introducing this speaker who can create a carnival with his words. He will floor you with his charming attitude and his personality. He spent a lifetime in the forces, a long, long time there, and now he loves to call himself a retired army man. Well, you already know whom I'm speaking about. I'm speaking about Toastmaster PK Ray. Today, he will be delivering his level 4 project 1 from the pathway Dynamic Leadership. So Toastmaster PK Ray. A few tips on practical change management. A few tips on practical change management. Toastmaster PK Ray. Well, okay, I'm so sorry. I cut you short, Toastmaster Ray. Timer, I need to tell you about the timing also. I'm so sorry, Toastmaster Ray. Give me a minute more, please. To the audience and to the general evaluator, the purpose of the project is for him to practice developing a change management plan. Now, this is something different. And he will also be sharing some aspects of the change management plan that he has perceived or thought of. Timer, please note that the time available for the speaker is 5 to 7 minutes with a buffer time of 30 seconds. So Toastmaster PK Ray, once again, a few tips on practical change management. A few tips on practical change management, Toastmaster PK Ray.
Well, there was a time in my life somewhere in September, October 2017, when I was jobless, penniless. I might say I didn't have the right to grow hair on my head. That is the time when I suddenly got a chance to be the administrator of a school in Kolkata. It's called the Birla Bharati School. It is tucked away in the heart of the industrial hinterland of Kolkata, which is slightly beyond a place called Taratala. Since we in the army keep shifting from place to place every 3 years, if not every 2 years, we go by a very important diktat which says that when you arrive at a new place, don't immediately start changing things. You may not like what is happening, but wait, hold your horses, spend some time out there, time like spend at least 2 months out there. That is the norm before you do anything. But on day 1, what I saw in the school appalled me. I was standing at the gate as the school buses were leaving. The road outside was jammed with traffic. The buses were still zipping out and taking a sharp left turn as they left the school gate. And you will not believe it. Some of the boys of the senior classes and even 1 or 2 girls were having fun by running behind the bus and then hopping onto the footboard as the bus left the school. And bystanders seem to be enjoying this without perceiving the type of danger it entailed. Now, I hope none of you have had the misfortune of seeing it, but I must tell you that I have seen an accident taking place like this in front of Kamala Nehru College in Delhi, where a bus was taking a very sharp turn and somebody came running and tried to board the bus. He missed his step on the footboard. Since the bus was turning very fast, there was a centripetal force which sucked his body under the bus and the bus just ran over him. To me, the behavior of these boys, the bus driver, the security guards, and the teachers who were sitting in the school bus was appalling. So I decided this needs to stop now. I cannot wait for 2 months. So I marched up to the Princey and told her that from tomorrow onwards, I'm setting in place a different process for boarding the school bus. And she said, what do you have in mind? I said, we will take all the bus students to the basement hall, line them up bus wise, put them in charge of the teachers who are traveling in the bus. And when everybody is there, that is the time we will allow the students to go bus by bus and board their buses before they leave the place. The principal, a shrewd, astute lady, told me, you are asking for trouble. Nobody is going to like this. I said, I realize that nobody is going to like this, but this is better than killing one of the children. So this is going to come into place, and it is going to come into place from the next day onwards. So the prince, he said, okay, let's do some change management. I said, fine. See, what do you have in mind? So I told her I have three things in mind. And the first and the most important step in change management is what we are talking about today in our meet, and that is communication. As we are all aware, knowledge is power. And the essence of communication is the transfer of knowledge. And if you want to have successful change, then in that case, what you really need to do is you have to empower everybody who is going to be a part of this change. So I told the Princey that I am going to write out an email, and I'll request you to send that email to all the parents. But just addressing the parents is not good enough. Think what will happen on ground. Monday morning, parents will be there at the gate and asking the security staff, what is this happening? The security staff has to know enough, and they have to be fed enough so that they can answer the parents. And so I'm going to write out another message which is in Bengali so that this security staff can understand what we are doing and they can communicate this to the parents. Then I said we also need to tell the students why this is happening. And not just the students, we also need to tell the teachers why this is happening, because the teachers who are traveling are in the school buses are the ones who are going to be most irate over this. And therefore, I wrote out these communications. Monday morning, I lined these guys up. I had placards made, bus 1, bus 2 till bus 8, and I had them lined up behind. And I'm telling you, it took me 1 hour before these lines became silent. The teachers accepted their responsibilities, and we managed to march these people off to their buses. The second important thing is to change the thinking, because remember, change management is more in the mind than it is on ground. The mind has to accept the change, then it will happen on ground. And therefore, it was very important that you gave people the correct idea to think about this. And so I could have given them a Toastmasters example, which I'm really wanting to give just now, but I shall avoid it. I'll tell you another story which I told those guys. There was a highway somewhere between Chilka and Gopalpur. and there was a storm. I was there. And because of the storm, a tree fell down and blocked half the carriageway. And when it blocked half the carriageway, the vehicles could not go past. But there was a policeman there who would not allow the vehicles to take the second carriageway and go, because he said that road is meant for traffic which is flowing the other way around. I'll not let you go. Causing miles long jam which took hours to clear up. But that is what I mean by an inflexible mindset. First, you have to change that mindset, then the change will happen. And the third thing, very important, is you be flexible yourself. There are rules, and it is very important to follow the rules. But there is a time when you need to subvert everything by damning the rules and doing what is required to be done. And so I told the principal, ma'am, I am going to follow these three things. One, I am going to communicate because knowledge is power. Two, I am going to change the thinking process. And three, I am going to subvert the process if need be to ensure that change happens. And that is the essence of change management. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to me. Back to you, TMOD.
Thank you, Toastmaster PK Ray, for sharing your insights and again enlightening all of us through your motivational speech. Next, we had our third and final speaker in the form of Toastmaster Kirti Yadav. And to introduce her to the virtual platform with the speech objective as well as the speech title, we have Toastmaster Asankhya Mohan, who would do the honors to call on and introduce the speech objectives as well as speech title of the speaker. Toastmaster Asankhya, over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Abhijit. And with this, I would like to inform you all that I'll be evaluating Toastmaster Kirti. She is delivering her level 1 project 3. That's the objective of the speech is to demonstrate vocal variety and body language in the speech. A little about Toastmaster Kirti. So she joined Toastmasters Club of Lucknow in the start of this year, and she has been actively taking up roles and delivering speeches. She recently took up the Toastmaster of the Day role for the very first time. She loves irritating her closed ones and enjoy doing acrylic painting a lot. And with this, I would like to hand over the stage to the Toastmaster of the Day to introduce the speaker with the speech title. Over to you. Or should I do that? Okay.
Woohoo! There aren't any magical words. Really, words just have the magic. If you know how it is to be done, every day will be magical for you. A very warm good evening, Journal Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and dear guests. Today, I am going to display the power of words here. So tell me, are you waving the magical wand of words into your life? Or you are trapped in the black magic of words? How we will sign this up? Let's do a small activity. How have you started your day today? What was the first thought you have when you woke up? Is it like, I'm feeling very tired, I want to sleep more? If this is your thought, I don't want to say, but you are in a black magic of words. On the other hand, if you have started your day with a very broad smile and you have said to yourself, it will be a great day to me, I'm going to achieve everything, you are definitely waving the magical wand of words into your life. I can see from your faces. You still don't believe me. It is very much visible from your eyes. Okay, let's give me another chance. So I'm going to tell you a story that has personally inspired me a lot. It is about a very famous sports person, and I'm going to depict one of his childhood life incident. So there is this boy who is sitting in a very shabby, leaking rooftop, pushing his stomach very hardly through his hands and looking with a teary eyes towards the watch. When will my mother come? When will the mother come? It's already 10:30. While he was engrossed into his thoughts, suddenly his sister started crying and he said, "What happened, sweetie? What's wrong with you?" And she said, "Brother, I'm feeling very hungry." He gathered all his strength and started walking to the McDonald's store next to his house and very impatiently started banging on the store door. "Open, open, Andy." And he opened the door. "By any chance, do you by any chance have any burgers left? Please tell me, please." Okay, let me check. As Andy walked back to the store, this little boy, he joined his hand and started praying to God. God, please make me lucky today. Please do me a favor, please." Isn't it very sad how pathetic that was? This was the type of childhood he had while growing up. No food, no toys, no Christmas, no village carnival, nothing. He had nothing while growing up, but he had a ball. A ball, when he takes up in his hand, it makes him forget everything. All his hardship, all his bad things happening in his life. That ball brings the best out of him. And the feeling that he got from that ball, he had turned it into the words and kept on reminding himself. And these words, you know what, has become very famous and very magical. You know what the words are? "I am the best. I am the best. I am the best." And you know what happened? He actually became one of the best. I am talking about Cristiano Ronaldo, one of the highest paid sportsmen in the entire world. His words, "I am the best," has acted as a crown to him. And he has definitely become the king of entire football world. Are we all like Cristiano, empowering ourselves every day? No, no, no. Consciously or unconsciously, we all are using very negative and self-deprecating words for ourselves. And this made me realize that I too have given a very bad powers to my word once. This incident I'm going to talk about, it belongs to way back to 2015, when all of my family members, we have gathered for my cousin's wedding. One of my youngest sister, she was probably in third or fourth standard, I don't remember. She's a girl. Her name is Mahima, but she always liked to dress up like a boy with t-shirt, trouser, trimmed haircut, with attitude, you know. It's not a problem. Actually, we are a very broad-minded family. But she hated being called a girl. And that bothered me. Actually, I was very much worried. So I said to my Masi, "Masi, you know, this isn't right. People will bully her, they will make fun of her." And you know what happened? My sister started throwing tantrum. Why are you saying me that? Why are you saying me like that? She had, oh my God, that was scary for all of us. Of course, we dropped the matter instantly. But she has shown all her talents of tantrum that she could ever have shown on that day. But the next day, again the topic came up when I was talking to one of my elder sister. And I said, "Didi, you know, this is not right and she has to suffer a lot because of all these things." So my sister was very patiently hearing me and she called, "Maima, baby, come here." She wrapped her arm against her shoulder and said, "Tell me one thing. Which of your cousins you like the most?" And she said, "Didi, I like you. I like you the most." "Okay, you like me. That, but I am a girl. That means girls are amazing and they are the best thing in the world, right?" And as my sister kept on going, my little sister kept on nodding her head and smiling. You know what? I was like in a shock. Definitely in shock. What happened the other day was actually exact the opposite happening right now. And this made me realize that I have given a very, very wrong power to my words. Instead of throwing my words into the face of my ma, I should have very politely, intelligently served her because she is a kid and will always act like one. This made me to relate a very beautiful quote which I have came across very recently. That words can inspire you, words can destroy you if you don't choose your words very wisely. So, what about all you guys? Are you still trapped in the black magic of words and destroying yourself? Or are you using the magical wand of words into your life and inspiring yourself and others every day? Thank you. Back to Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kirti. Words can inspire you and words can destroy you. Indeed, how true could it be than what you just mentioned and inspired others? When I heard this, I also could figure out that of the two things that you just mentioned, that it can inspire you and it can also destroy you, the true art of communication becomes the language of leadership. And that's very true, isn't it? Further moving on, we had three wonderful prepared speeches today, three wonderful motivations that we all came up with. Now's the time to understand whether they can make it to the next level of getting qualified for the perfect voting. To ensure that, I'd like to call upon our timer, Toastmaster Syed, to please let all of us know as to out of the three speakers, what are the timings that they have taken to deliver the speeches and whether they are qualified or not.
First of all, I want to confirm from all the audiences, was my cue cards were visible? In that case, we have two disqualification based on timing. I want to know from the general evaluator, what should I do? Shall we go and have the polls for all three, or shall we say declare that two disqualification? All right, our president is saying no. That means we declare that two disqualification based on time. Over to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster, for easing off the polling for all of us. We do not have to really go ahead and poll because we already have the desired results very clear. The second segment for today's session is the table topics. And today's table topics is going to be played by a very dynamic Toastmaster who is dialing in all the way from Kuwait, Toastmaster Asil. Toastmaster Asil, can you please unmute yourself, come on video, and introduce your role as a table topic master for today's evening.
Sorry to tell you that Toastmaster Asil is sick today, but to encourage us, she joined the meeting and she gave me that opportunity to take that two bites at the cherry to take this carnival of table topics. And due to time constraint also, I will take only two topics. So quickly, who is going to be the table topic speaker? Please raise your hand. Thank you, Asil, for joining in. Apart from that, you have bad stomach and throat infections. Thank you for joining and giving me this opportunity to present your slides. Who is going to take the first topic? Toastmaster Ray, would you like to go for the first topic? If no one is answering, then I have the veto power to to call anyone.
Yeah, I can try. I can try. Go on.
So, for the benefit of all the other, we have only Toastmasters, that the timing of the speeches should be 1 to 2 minutes. All right. Toastmaster Ray, which country or place would you like to visit?
I would like to visit some place to which I have never been before.
And
can you hear me?
yes, yes, loud and clear.
Okay, so I would like to visit one of these places to which I have never been before. And on top of my bucket list is Switzerland. Why
So
Switzerland?
giving you the ticket of Switzerland, and your topic is in front of you. There is a whole world out there waiting to be explored. Toastmaster PK, there is a whole world out there waiting to be explored. Over to you, sir.
Right. So this topic, there is a whole world out there waiting to be explored, does not apply just to Switzerland. It applies to my hometown also, Kolkata. Every day when I go out for a walk, and I do that religiously every day, I find something new. And whenever I go to a place, I make it a point to walk the place. Because when you walk the place, that is the time when you can interact with your surroundings, with the people of the place. And when you can interact with the people of the place, that is when you get the actual vibe of this. I remember the Indian Army had sent me to Israel. And we used to stay, you will not believe it, in a 5-star hotel which was there on the Mediterranean beach. We used to hear about this only in fairy tales, but suddenly it became true. And I found that I was the only guy in this group who was walking the beach at night. One day I met my group coming from the other side. Time was, I think, about 12 p.m., 12 a.m. And they said, where are you going? I said, I'm going to walk this beach some more. I'm going to walk till 2 o'clock. And wherever I finish my walk at 2, I'm going to turn around and walk back. So it'll get me to the hotel at 4. They said, and you don't want to sleep? I said, I sleep in India also. Now that I'm here, I want to meet people. I want to sense people. I want to walk into stragglers who are all over the place. I want to see the local shops, see what they're selling, taste their local wares. That is how you get to know a place. I want to be able to do that. But let me tell you, the same thing is possible in India also. Not just in Kolkata, you can go anywhere. Let's say you go to Chennai, you walk a different street every day. It'll take you a full year to finish this walking of that one city. So I will request all of you that when you go to a new place, walk it and meet the people and talk to them. Why? Because there is a whole world out there waiting to be explored. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster PK Ray. Indeed, we have a lot of places in India to visit, and we can explore so many things. India is the amalgamation of the whole world. Wherever you want to go, you can visit India. Moving forward, who is going to be the next? Kirti, would you like to take a topic? All right. So where you want to travel? What is your favorite destination?
Okay, for me, it will be probably different states of India only.
Which one? Give us a name
Maybe
so that I can issue a ticket to you.
Okay, okay, let it be Kerala. Okay.
Okay, signing a ticket for you to Kerala, Toastmaster Kriti. I haven't been everywhere. What is that? 1 minute. I haven't been everywhere, but it's on my list. I haven't been everywhere, but it's on my list. Over to you, Toastmaster Kirti.
So, from the very childhood, you know what my vacation destination has been? It's my maternal grandfather's house. We all of our relatives we gathered in our Nanaji's house. We used to fight all our cousins and played the whole 2 months we had for the vacation. So actually, I have never been to any place except to my hometown Gonda and or to the college area where I have spent I think mostly 6 or 7 years of my life in Lucknow. A part of that maybe 2 or 3 cities more because I have to give my counseling, that is a BHU, or maybe my cousin's wedding in Mumbai or in Noida. So all of these places which I always inspire for, they are in my bucket list. I started keep on putting in my bucket list. It may be an amazing crown of India, Jammu and Kashmir, or may a beautiful terrains and mountain areas of Assam and northeastern areas, or the desert and camel riding of Rajasthan. They have always been my dream, and they have been in my bucket list. Still I'm always planning to and thinking about them, but chances were rare till now. Maybe in future I will get the perfect opportunity for me, and I will be actually sitting on top of the elephants and the camels I have always been imagining myself. So am I on my way to fulfill my bucket list, my list to fulfill my vacations. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Kirti, for the lovely thoughts. And my bucket list is to have Toastmaster meeting from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Asim, for giving me the opportunity to replace you. And due to time constraint, we have only 2 topics. Moving forward with the polling of the best table topics speaker, which will be in front of you. Please vote for the best table topics speaker.
Toastmaster Syed, request you to please retrieve co-host rights from me for the moment.
Okay.
So that I can vote.
Can you see the poll or shall I relaunch?
No, can see it.
All right, great. So I got 80% responses. All right, I have the opportunity and ending the poll now. Thank you so much. Over to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Syed, for those couple of beautiful topics that you came across with respect to traveling, and 2 beautiful attempts by Toastmaster PK and then Toastmaster Kirti to make us feel that post-pandemic, it's the time that we should all venture out to explore any country that we wish to be a part of. Thank you so much for that. Next, in the interest of time, I'll quickly jump from what I wanted to share, but that I will take it up towards the end. Quickly moving on to the next set of role players, that is the general evaluation segment. And to introduce the general evaluation segment with the speech evaluators and the tag team, we'll have our general evaluator, Toastmaster Marutesh, should take the virtual dais from here and then take the session ahead. Over to you, Toastmaster Marutesh.
Thank you, TMOD Abhijit, for your introduction. Now we will have the evaluation session. I will be calling on the team to assist me with giving the feedback of our speakers. First, I would like to welcome Vichitravi to evaluate the speech of Mohammad Safar. Over to you, Chitravir.
कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती. Meaning, a mind that dreads and dares can never be at loss. Wow, what a wonderful speech, Toastmaster Shafid Rizvi. Your speech was full of content and full of quotes and poems that you kept us motivating for the entire duration. You told us the way and the path from where you are getting all those energies. As your speech title says, I have a goal in my life. We can already see the clarity in your goal, and we can see that you have started working towards your goal. I want to congratulate you for your icebreaker speech. Now, we know that every speech can be improved. And as you were going through your speech, we all were hooked by the content you were using. But you can improve on the things like when you started your speech. We know that whenever we are delivering a speech, the first few seconds are the most important ones. And that is the moment when you grab or either lose your own. You did a fantastic job, and we know that it is your icebreaker speech. I see a lot of potential in you. You can improve. You can do what you can do is improve a little bit of more energy, and you are up to the way. So I want you to congratulate on that. Second, when you were giving your speech, I know that being the virtual platform, we all sometimes we are not looking on the camera, but this gives us the audience a look that you are reading from somewhere. This is your initial stage, and this will also come as you will practice more. As we all know, icebreaker or public speaking is something that comes with experience and that comes with practice. Now, to achieve the extra mile, how you can challenge yourself, because as you keep on challenging yourself is the only way you will keep on improving yourself more and more. This is your icebreaker speech, and whenever you are giving your speech, you can stand up, because we know that whenever we are delivering a speech and we are standing up, we have a greater area to cover. We have more space for our leg movements and for our hand movements also. You can make your speech more dramatized also. Now, to overall sum up, I would like to congratulate you on completing your icebreaker speech. I was really hooked up, and it was a fantastic speech. I want you to be more active, keep on improving yourself. Just to summarize, you did a fantastic job. You gathered all the quotes and poems. Recommendations are only that work on your opening and try to stand up and deliver your speech. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vijitavir, for your evaluation. Next, help me welcome TM Smita to evaluate the speech given by Roy. Over to you, TM Smita.
Good evening, everyone, and good evening, Toastmaster PK. People who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who actually do. Words of Steve Jobs, but incorporated by my speaker, Toastmaster PK Ray, when he decided to bring about a change in the management of the school. Well, heartiest congratulations on telling us ways and means of bringing about a change management plan, which was actually your project, something new for people to learn. What is the change management plan? All about preparing, supporting, and helping individuals bring about a change. In that manner, your speech completely and totally spoke about the steps that you were going to take, and you spoke about the essence of bringing about a change in the change management plan, right? Done. Now that is as far as the content goes, and I have something more for you about the content that will speak to you about later. Let me tell you that I was floored completely once again by the way you delivered the speech. You are an excellent storyteller. What I love about this are the pauses that you take, the highs and lows, the really and the mellows, the volumes, the speed when you're running, when you're speaking about appalling, the way you're telling, when you're speaking about the students and teachers and all the people who are there and how it is affecting them. Your story is always with pace, and we're looking forward and we're hooked onto it and we're wanting to know what's coming next, what's coming next. So that's a very big quality that you have. Apart from that, what is it that your speech absolutely had? Your speech had audience awareness. You knew what your audience was wanting and you were deliberately giving it to them. However, there are certain things that I would like you to add to your speech that will make it an extremely, extremely go-getting speech. And one is incorporating movement. When you had such a dramatic speech and you had so much to tell us, why were you sitting? We would have loved for you to stand and move from left to right and tell us about how you actually went from pillar to post and affected that change. And we would have been there, hooked on and present there. Another thing, I would love you to work on an intriguing title. A few tips on practical change management. And I was already thinking, okay, this is going to be something different. But yes, you did surprise us by telling a story. So to summarize, I would like to say that you excelled at storytelling. You have lovely vocal variety that had the audience hooked. I would love for you to incorporate movement. I would love for you to speak a little about the benefits of planning that happened actually in the school. How did it really affect the process, and how did it affect you? I would love for you to add that. All in all, a wonderful speech. Thank you.
Thank you, TM Smita, for your revelation. Next, please help me welcoming Asankhya to evaluate the speech of Kirti. Over to you, TM Asankhya.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Marutesh. And with this, I would like to congratulate firstly Toastmaster Kirti on successfully delivering your level 1 project 3. To start with, right from the start itself, the usage of the screen space, the way you started commencing your speech by hiding from the camera and coming back to the screen to start, and you started basically with such a manner that you caught everyone by surprise, actually by surprise, because this is something that we try to scare people off or surprise people by. And throughout your speech you were also using the screen space very effectively, moving front and back, left and right. So stage movement in a virtual setup sometimes if overdone can also become distracting, because we usually suggest the speaker not to move, you can say, but you use the right amount just to make sure that the audience was hooked to your speech, to the screen throughout. So even if they're not paying the attention to this content, but they were definitely paying attention to your body language. So kudos to you on that. And that was one aspect of this project. Coming to the second point, kudos to the great modulation that you brought in various throughout the course of the speech. Like at one instance you were talking about the first aspect, the first story that you were telling, wherein you mentioned suddenly his sister started crying. Then in one other place, God help us, God please help us. And then at a place wherein you mentioned I was in a shock, literally in shock. And then soon after that, lowering, toning down your voice, just coming to something else. So that was really precise as to what the content required, as per specifically with respect to the voice modulation that you had with that content. And talking about content, you had a lot of content packed in your speech. Firstly, like you started with a story, then you moved on to talking about your you can say your favorite the sports personality, that is Cristiano Ronaldo, how you can say you related with him, how he chants I am the best, and how we use usually you can say negative words for ourselves. And then you jumped you can say to a personal anecdote as well towards the later half of your speech, wherein you can say you touched about a completely personal side of this speech. Then coming on to few other aspects wherein you can work upon, that might help you make the speech a little better. First of all, I would like to suggest you can maybe tone down the pace. I feel you had a lot of content packed in one speech, so you can maybe just still I feel you could have toned down the pace and like the place where you said, let's do an activity. And thereafter you rushed with the first thought, what is the first thought that you had today? But you didn't give time to the audience. Maybe, yeah, I know we cannot give the audience a chance to speak every time, but yes, maybe we could have taken a pause. And then talking about one more thing, like the way you ended. So the ending was completely inspiring, the way you touched our hearts, and the quote that you use, like, words can inspire you, words can destroy you if you don't choose them wisely. All in all, a very good speech, the way you can say started, and then coming to the three aspects that I had as a takeaway, and then concluding with a good quote. So all in all, a very good, and meeting all the project objectives. That all from my side. Over to you, Toastmaster Marutesh.
Thank you, TM Asakya, for your revelation. Now we will hear the report from our tag team. It's important to get your message across the allotted time and for the meeting to run according to the schedule. Our timer, TM Sayed Faisal, please share your report.
Thank you so much, Mr. General Evaluator. Congratulations for all the speakers. They have utilized their time very well. Guest Shafat, he took 4 minutes 42 seconds. Toastmaster Vichitravir took 3 minutes 12 seconds. Toastmaster PK Ray took 8 minutes 23 seconds. Toastmaster Smita took 3 minutes 30 seconds. Toastmaster Kirti, she took 7 minutes 41 seconds. Toastmaster Asank, he took 3 minutes 28 seconds. Toastmaster PK Ray as table topics, he took 2 minutes 30 seconds. Toastmaster Kirti Yadav, she took 1 minute 44 seconds. Thank you so much. Over to you, Mr. General Manager.
Thank you, TM Sayed Faisal. Next, the counter tracks the use of verbal poses, those ahs and ums that come out from our mouth while we think of the next things to say. Their verbal poses detract from our message and we stop counting at 5. Our counter is Nivanchi. TM Nivanchi, please share your report.
Hello, everyone. The R counter report is clean. Today, Toastmaster Sayed Faisal has used like 4 hours and 3 ums. And then Toastmaster Shafat Razvi also has used 2 hours, 3 ums. Toastmaster PK Ray was clean. Toastmaster Kirti used 2 hours, 3 ums. Toastmaster Toastmaster Asankhya 2 hours, no ums. Toastmaster Smita clean. And Toastmaster Vichitravir clean. Toastmaster Kirti used once word of the day, and Toastmaster Sayed Faisal used once idiom of the day. Then coming to good usage of English, today in the meeting, many of the Toastmasters and guests have used wonderful English. Let me give them a clap of hands. Very good uses of English. Toastmaster Sayed, Toastmaster Shafat Rizvi. I have a goal in my life. I loved the theme. Overwhelming thoughts. Understand the power of gratitude. Be optimistic and positive. Take failure as a lesson. Every dark sky has a silver lining. Toastmaster Smita, charming attitude, cat is out of the bag. People are crazy enough to change the world, and that's quote by Steve Jobs. Toastmaster PK Ray, charming attitude. A few tips on practical change management. Tugged, important, sharp left turn, hopping, bystanders, misfortune, perceiving, different process, basement hall, shrewd, knowledge is power. Toastmaster Kirti, magic words, visible, shabby, rooftop, carnival, one time as you used. Broad-minded, tantrums, inspiring, bad magic of words, good magic of words. Toastmaster Sayed Fazil, amalgamation, Toastmaster PK, when he was a table topic speaker, he used actual vibes, walk a different path. Toastmaster Asankhya, stage movement in a virtual setup. Audience was hooked. Kudos to you. Great modulation. Completely inspiring. Words can inspire. Toastmaster Kirti, words can inspire you and words can destroy you. This was also very nice of you to use it. Toastmaster Vichitra Veer, no R's, no arms, clean. Thank you, everyone. This is my report. Just wait, sorry. Toastmaster Abhijit, Toastmaster of the day, distinguished Toastmaster of the day, Abhijit. He used flawlessly beautiful words, which I kept on writing, coming from a different background, kind, platform, empathy, excitement, disabling in from lovely meeting, beautiful evening, essence. Um, then guest Akhil used unique personalities. Then he also used Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Abhijit. The true act of communication is leadership, framed and structured, powerful oration, serving mankind, noble deeds. Thank you, everyone. This is my report. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank
Sorry.
you, Isha, for your detailed report. Now I have few comments on the meeting. Meeting started on time. SSA told about the rules and regulations of the meeting, and also next role player, the proceeding officer Roy has introduced all the speakers, and we come again. We introduced all the guests that we can come to know about everyone. And the next role player is TMOD, had a good theme about the theme about the meeting, and also he has asked some of the question for all the some of the members about the team. He has interacted very well, and I've noticed that he had some internet issues in middle. Anyhow, he has cleared that one, and the internet went very well. And next role is the we had a good prepared speeches from every speakers, and we had next segment is the table topic session. In case of the table topic master absent, the Syed Faisal has took his role, and he has has a good question for the members. And I have few comments that please update the new agenda if the any role players are not there or they have changed. Please make an agenda, and if we are updated means it will be very easy for all the role players to call them, because we have see some of the issues while the meeting, and TMOD didn't know about the TTM is there or not. And also I also had some confusion that first speaker why where will he give our speech or not. Like this, some of the issues will happen. Hence, it is good to please update the role players. These are some of the comments which I had during the meeting. And also the grammarian also forgot the word of the day, because the main object main thing she used to tell about the rules, and you want to introduce the word of the day. Anyhow, she has recalled. Sometime it may happen. Okay, she had given a good report at the end of the meeting, and overall meeting went very well. I really enjoyed this club meeting, because this club has some creativity. Whenever I come here in table topic or in anything, we will have some creativity in every meetings. And also TM Smita ma'am also have good mentorship here. She had a good evaluation. Everything she will do very well. Really, I enjoy and like to come again to this club. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Now back to the TMOD Abhijit.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Marutesh, for the general evaluation of today's meeting. Points well captured and shared with the audience for constructive feedback. And we will certainly as a team will adhere to the areas where we can improve further. Okay, now it's the time that we have the polling for the evaluator, best evaluator, as well as the tag team and the best role player as well. So you can see on the screen, we have the polling that is shown for the best evaluator.
I request everyone to please vote because I have only 66% voting so far. So whosoever is not voting, please go ahead. Voting is your right. All right. I got the majority and I'm in. Then I have best auxiliary role player. All right, I got the majority and ending the poll. Let's have the best role player as well. All right. Done. Over to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Faisal. Let me share the screen now for the final time. I know we are almost 7 minutes behind schedule. Now, when I was talking about the art of communication to the language of leadership, we again have three wonderful personalities. If you look at starting from the left, you see a person called Lance Armstrong. A lot of people may not be knowing who the real person is, but he today stands as one of the fastest and most active cyclists who won the big time Tour de France. That's the cycle race that happens every year. But to let people understand, if you see that what is exactly mentioned, he is a cancer survivor. And why do you think that I would relate his example with my theme? It's the communication of his through the way of motivating a lot of people around the globe, saying that I'm a cancer patient, but if I can fight out cancer, which is one of the deadliest disease as it stands today, and it has no remedy, to become the champion of Tour de France, which is a cycle race, almost about 40-50 kilometers that you have to cycle all around the different terrains of France. It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of motivation, which this person had. It's the communication from within through the way of his deeds that he has shown to the people that anybody can become a leader. And leadership is not just about standing and sharing some views. Leadership is also about somebody who creates an impact and people can thereafter follow the legacy which any individual is set forth. Michael Jackson, he was a child of a poor African-American couple. If you would have looked ever the time when Michael Jackson was very young, you wouldn't have been able to figure out the way he used to look at a later point of time when he grew up. Yes, he did undergo a plastic surgery to look even more fair than what he actually was. But that's the other part of the story, because he wanted to come into the limelight. But the moonwalk, the kind of rap that he had, it's hardly anybody in this world can match up with him. A great person and a great idol for a lot of people who are into that domain of dance and hip hop. Finally, there's no defining our very own Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi. He was the one who belongs from a very small village in the state of Gujarat, where his father used to sell tea in a railway station. He used to follow the same legacy to help his father take those cups and go and give it to the people who had ordered for tea. And today, what we see is one of the most powerful leaders, one of the most biggest influencers in the entire globe. The impact that he has created in a lot of people, industrialists, is beyond even thoughts or imagination. Do you think that he is a very big, good English speaker? The answer is no. He, of course, has a translator who translates his version into English to communicate it to a lot of other leaders globally. But then, why people around the globe come up to listen to him is because of the communication, the ideas that he shares, the power with the strongness which he kind of comes up with, all the ideologies that he has, and the vision for a much more better India, a much more safer India, and much more developed India. So when somebody has a vision through the way of how one communicates, people kind of understand the true essence of leadership within that individual. And that is when one will start following you. With that, I would like to put a stop to my theme today. As this one, there are lots, of course, quite open to share and discuss, but then everything has to come to a stop. And there are a lot, of course, we can keep it as an open forum to talk more and more about these topics. I hope a little bit of this session would have helped all of us in this room to understand and grab the best possible way of how we can become effective leaders through the way of communicating well. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the entire team of NVezion Toastmasters to again give me this opportunity to be a part of your club meeting tonight. And I would then now hand over the virtual dais back to our presiding officer, Toastmaster PK Ray. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Abhijit Roy, for coming and regaling us and educating us and motivating us regarding communication and leadership. I think today we learned how basically the art of communication leads us on to the art of leadership. And we would like to hear more of this in the future. Right now, time for our founder, Toastmaster Syed Faisal Zaidi, to announce the results, please. Please go ahead, Toastmaster Faisal.
Spain, best speaker goes to Patricia. Best evaluator goes to Toastmaster Asant Mohan. Congratulations. Best auxiliary role player, I don't know this guy, but Toastmaster Syed Faisal Zaidi. Best role player, DTM Abhijit Roy for the TMOD. Best table topics, Toastmaster Kirti Yadav. That's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Faisal. Ladies and gentlemen, 22:44 on the clock. Thank you for hanging on till this late hour. Let us officially close the meeting. Thank you very much. See you